Good morning from Hong Kong. Here we are. Second day of the Chinese New Year. Year of the goat, sheep, lamb, whatever you want to call it. But, Kong Hei Fa Choi, if you can see, it's all sanded. And I've gone and I've masked off all the white seams. I've pulled out the white Silkaflex that I could. The stuff that was still attached to the cotton packing that's behind it, I kind of left those in. Just make less work for myself, because it was there. It's not hurting anything. And again, this black is mainly just cosmetics. I had some areas over here where I had to put more cotton in. I've just got to give it a sand down. But it's all black now, and it's looking good. Now I've just got to sand down this one more time to 80 grit, and then give this another sand down, clean up the Silkaflex, and I can give it a coat of varnish. But she's going to rain today, so. But that's what's going on there. It looks good. Nice and black. I got around here. I've just got to fix the steps. The steps are all done. But it's looking good. So, alright. I'll talk to you guys soon. Be good, be safe, be well. Bye-bye. Alright, and I should mention here, I've started playing with this hydroponics because I want to put hydroponics on the top deck. So we have this lemon tree that was started from a seed from a lemon, and I don't know, it's about 6 months old, I think. But went to Mongkok and found the clay media for it. It's just in a regular cup, but what I'm using is just for the air pump. I've got the two outlets, and what we're doing is I'm using the air to actually pump up. So at the bottom of this cup, I've got a hose where the air hose goes in. One air hose goes to a regular air stone, because again, we get above 35 degrees C here, so the oxygen levels go down. So we've got the air stone in this, and then the other one, this tube goes into a larger tube that's actually, the air pressure is forcing the water up to the top here, so it's a sporadic splurt of water, of the nutrients and fertilizer into that. The cup has all kinds of holes in it, so the roots will find its way down. But we keep the I'm playing with it just to see how hydroponics works, and start using the lemon tree, and lemon tree seems to be pretty happy. And so now I got to find here in Hong Kong, it's hard to find like the fertilizers that are readily available in the USA and in Australia. So if I can find the right fertilizers, I've started strawberries, started tomatoes, and that. So going by seed, I couldn't find any rock wool, but we found this sponge moss or something like that, and what we got going is we just it's sitting in some water here, but we got some small 2-inch net cups, and that we got this, and these are for I think we got tomatoes in here, beefsteak tomatoes, and 3 different types of lettuce. So we're starting to germinate those, and it's just sitting in a nutrient bath, and just keeping it. So it's been, we did this on the 20th, so it was the first day of the Chinese New Year, and so we put these in, and hopefully they will start to germinate. And then what I'm going to do is up on the top deck, I'm going to start making the different type, the thin film. The water just runs through the tubes like the 3-inch PVC pipe. And then I've got to make my own Dutch bucket design, so it'll hold 4 on each side of the boat. But to keep it cool and all that, I've got to do some different designs, because it's on a boat. It's not like it's on the land. So, but we're seeding them. We're starting to get them to grow, because here it is. It's the end of February, and we should have tomatoes growing up. We should have the strawberries, because the strawberries are going to go into the towers, the aeroponic towers. But so even though we're still doing the restoration on the boat, still you got to be 2 steps ahead of the game. So we've got, starting out from seed, everything that we want, because I hope that the main goal for this boat is to be self-sufficient. There's self-sustainability. We've got the solar, we'll have the wind, running on biodiesel, B100, 100% recycled cooking oil. And we have the hydroponics. We'll have tomatoes, we'll have strawberries, we'll have lettuce, and we'll be catching fish off the side of the boat. So hopefully it will be a well-balanced vessel. And the thing is I have to make everything for this hydroponics so it can withstand, some waves as we go out to the islands and some nice little bays out on the islands and go have some fun. And for lunch, we can just pick out, make some nice salads with some strawberries, and hopefully somebody will be out on the bow fishing while everybody else is out on the back swimming. And we'll have a fish fry, nice salads, and strawberries. And plus, if I want to go long journeys, I've got a lemon tree, and never get gout. All right, that's enough for now. Be good, be safe, be well. Bye-bye. All right, good afternoon from Hong Kong. I'm getting kind of busy. I've got 2 coats. I just did a wet sand on the diving ladder. I got to get some varnish on that. Been ripping out the back here so I can do the top of the gunnel. Again, this is all going to come out, but starting to strip more of the posts. The posts, found some rot here, and when we get to the shipyard, we'll figure out what we can do about that. Starting to strip that. Again, I've taken that out. So this has got to go. This is going to be ripped out as well. But on the diving platform here, I've gone in, and on the steps, if you can see it, again, wherever wood meets another piece of wood, I Silcaflex everything. So here, it's all been Silcaflex there, and the black is looking good, as I've had before. So I haven't teak oiled anything, but found a few more spots, sealed that up, and we just had a rain last night, just 24-hour rain, non-stop. But before I can do any varnishing, I've got to be able to do the top of the gunnel here, so I need to rip this stuff out. Actually, I don't have to rip the bottom out. I've just got to get this fixed, because the shipyard is only doing the outside hull, and not port and starboard. I'm taking care of the transom. They're going to take below the diving platform, but as you can see, I'm going to have to cut in. I've got somewhat of a decent seam here in that, but I'm going to have to cut in. I'm not sure how I'm going to cut that in, but I've got to put in another piece of wood here to get that. I've got some minor repairs, but we're starting to assess damages now on what has to be done on the port, or on the starboard side here. And I haven't even, it's a Chinese New Year, I can't even get parts to repair my outboard. I've got another one, but the engine is good, but where the bottom leg goes into the engine, it's stripped out, so I don't have a press or anything to get the bearings out and replace that, so kind of SOL on that. But it's just an absolute mess, but it's getting there. Hopefully I can get this taken care of, because my goal is to have all of the gunnels ready so that when they do the hull, that's the most important. So stripping down these posts, getting the railing continuation, so that when it comes out of the shipyard, I'm just doing interior stuff, and that's all I want to do. So all of these are put together with these flathead brass screws, and ripping out the plugs, I'm just getting really frustrated. So, and we've got how these boards are joined together. That's just an iron nail. It's 100% iron, steel if you will. So his are just toe-nailed in from the bottom side, and then it was put down. So I just found this, because of the weather, this was kind of rotten, so I was able to pry this up, and there was already a crack there, so saw how far it would go. I mean, I can cut it down, use my planer, and make good planks, small planks for different uses out of what I can get. I've got these boards that are out here. Let me go around this way. I've got these large boards, and there's some really nice wood I can get out of it. Now this one is from the back, and now I'll make good pieces out of that, but the one that was on the starboard side, now that one's in fairly decent shape, so I'll be able to do some good stuff with that teak, because that is a nice chunk of teak. And that's where I'm at, and getting ready for, again, everything is so closed, you know, because of the Chinese New Year. I mean, the country shuts down for 14 days. On this, we've got here, this is that swamp moss or whatever it's called. These little 2-inch net cups, but I've got some lettuce coming up, another piece of lettuce here, lettuce coming up. So I've got lettuce coming up. The beefsteak tomatoes haven't come up yet. But then where we tried the foam, again, these are the strawberries. The lemon tree is doing really good. We just got some bamboo in it, trying that. Now these are tomatoes that just started coming up yesterday. And then we've planted more lettuce. I've got a bunch more lettuce that's planted, and that'll go in the thin film or whatever type system for hydroponics. Tomatoes are going in the Dutch buckets. Strawberries are going in the, what they call it, aeroponic towers. But these little foam things are working great. And all it is just what you would use to wash dishes with. And I just cut them up. Because here in Hong Kong, rock wool is not something that's available to me. I can get rock wool from a factory, but again, I would need to buy a 20-foot container. And I'm not out for buying a 20-foot container. So then the sample, or my little testing of just using an air pump, from an air pump, to pump up the water. One is the air stone, and one is actually going through a larger hose. And as you can see how it's burping up. And but this is the lemon tree. It's doing rather well. And it's really hard to find out what the NPK is for a lemon tree and citrus. So you got 10-5-5, and some say 5-5-5. So just for right now, just to start it, I just put in 777 for that, just to see how it's going to start growing. And even on the bamboo, I used the 777. And then on On these, I'm just going to use the 2020. You know, and all of them have all the trace elements with the boron and copper and etc. So, and even that fertilizer is hard to find for hydroponics. You know, water soluble. But yeah, I've got some friends in Australia, got some friends in the USA. Hopefully, we can get that going. But other than that, this week is going to be just demoing, getting ready, because I don't think anybody comes back until like the 26th or 27th of the month here, and I think today's the 22nd here in Hong Kong. So, but so far, I'm removing the wood and trying to salvage as much as possible. I've kind of given up on doing the sanding. It just, weeks and weeks of sanding and heat and stripping got old, and that. So gonna get about five to six coats on the ladder, get this taken care of, and hopefully I can have 2 or 3 coats on the transom, varnish on the transom here, and have all the stainless cleaned up. The deck teak oiled, and so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put the biodiesel, the B5 is what I'm going to start with, and that's going to get to the shipyard on the B5 biodiesel, and then once we have the hull in good shape, all the filters taken care of, and there's a few other things that have to be changed over on the engine for B100, and unfortunately they're on holiday as well, so the engineer isn't able to come on board and point out what needs to be changed on the engine. So, but for right now, that's what's happening. So I'll put a couple of these videos that I've made together, and I'll put this online, and I'll make a couple more near the end of the week, see how things go, and hopefully I can start putting the hydroponic Dutch buckets together and the towers and find all that. Because one thing I don't have, like if you look on YouTube for this hydroponics, all these square plastic, what do they call it, fence posts, and you know, these 4-inch, and the only thing I can get is, you know, 4 or 6-inch round PVC. The rest of it I've got to make, and even on an esky or a beer cooler, like I've got a beer cooler here. Now, in the USA, I think they go for like 20, 30, 40 US dollars. But now, this is a Coleman that I have here, and that was almost 200 US dollars. So the thing is, even though it's made in China, to get it retail here in Hong Kong is a very expensive place to live. So, I mean, it's really expensive, and you just don't go cutting these things out for these tower units and stuff, because they're not cheap. And, you know, especially on the boat and going out, you want to have a block of ice and keep your beer cool. So I got to be careful on what I do. Almost, for so many things, it's almost better for me to buy from the USA and have it shipped over. But when it comes to hydroponic fertilizer and this rock wool, especially fertilizer, I've contacted all these places for fertilizer. No one has yet to reply. Just saying the word Hong Kong, people, nope, not gonna reply. It's like Morningstar. I'm pretty much on my own. I got to make do with what I got. But if I want wind turbine, solar panels, and all that kind of stuff, that's not a problem. But it's just small little things, these specialty items, that are hard, you know, for me to find single units of. But that's what's going on, guys. I'm rambling on. Time to go eat some food. I'm getting hungry here. Didn't have lunch. But that's what's happening. So be good, be safe, and always be well. Bye-bye.